Welcome back to Game Talk 24/7. I'm your host, Josh Cunningham. Before we get to the video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and like the video. It really means a lot. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. Also, don't be afraid to comment down below. Without further ado, let's talk sports. Hey guys, welcome back to Game Talk 24/7. Today is Tuesday, December 16th. And as you can tell by my Christmas hat and by the hot chocolate I still have, it is still the holiday season. Christmas is next week, and boy, the holidays are rolling. And right now, it looks like a winter wonderland outside, depending on where you live. I got snow where I live, so there's snow outside. It's on the ground. It's cold. So what's a better time than now to talk about sports? It's a great time of the year to be with friends and family, and then also to remember what the holidays are really about. But without further ado, let's start talking some sports. Let's dive into our first topic. Philip Rivers returns to the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts. He is 44. He made his first start on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. And Shane Steichen already said Philip Rivers will be starting again this upcoming week of the NFL on Monday Night Football against the 49ers? Yeah, against the San Francisco 49ers. Boy, will that be a good game. That's going to be a good game between those two teams. And Philip Rivers, in his first game back, was he the best quarterback in the NFL? No. He's 44. He's his first game back. He's got to knock off a little bit of rust. But did he look like the best quarterback in the NFL? No. Did you expect him to? Because if you did, then you had very poor expectations of him. He did what he did. He actually exceeded most people's expectations. He probably exceeded my expectations. See, with Philip Rivers, I didn't expect him to throw for a touchdown pass maybe in his first game. I expected him to be decent, but I didn't expect him to throw for a touchdown pass. Now, he only threw for 120 yards. That's not a lot. He went 18 for 27. Not terrible. Could be better. Could be a lot worse. He threw for 120 yards, one touchdown, one interception. One interception, it's late in the game when the interception happened. It's unfortunate. You're trying to push the ball downfield late with 20 seconds left on the clock. Push the ball downfield late to get in position for a game-winning field goal. Receiver couldn't catch the ball. It was just over his hands. DB catches it instead. Interception. So, not mad about that. He only had one sack, 4 hits. His QBR is not great. His QBR is 52.5. His passer rating is 73.1. But they lost 18-16. And in Philip Rivers' first game at 44, in Philip Rivers' first game at 44, first time playing in the NFL since 2020, he didn't do terrible. He put his team in a position to win because they were up 16-15. And then the defense, who's missing key pieces like Sauce Gardner, DeForest Buckner, and other key players, you see them not there. So the defense, while they didn't struggle as much, because giving up 18 points, defense somewhat did their job. But when your offense only scores 16 as a defense, you have to not give up 18 at that moment. And they gave up a game-winning field goal later in the game that gave the Seahawks the lead. It was a 56-yard field goal that gave the Seahawks the lead, and then the Colts did not have that much time to then try and come back, and they did not succeed. So Philip Rivers' first game back, while it was a loss, he looked better than I expected him to. He looked better than most people expected him to at the age of 44, and he's going to start again against the 49ers on Monday Night Football this upcoming NFL week. And, Philip Rivers, I'm excited to see him back. It's fun to see him back. It's fun. It gets some nostalgia to watch Philip Rivers because Philip Rivers was in the NFL during my childhood, so it's a lot of nostalgia to watch him play, and it's just fun to see Philip Rivers out there slinging the pigskin around. But, the Seahawks won 18-16. The Seahawks look really good this year. They're 11-3 for a reason. They have a chance to go and compete and win a Super Bowl this year. They look really good. Jackson Smith and Jigba's look really good. Sam Darnold look really good. Let's talk about Sam Darnold for a second. Sam Darnold goes to Minnesota last year. Was at Minnesota. Does really well. Minnesota's like, we don't need you. We'll move on to J.J. McCarthy. We'll be just fine. And then Sam Darnold goes to the Seattle Seahawks. He's doing good again. And Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy, even though they just beat the Cowboys, they're not having a great season. So should have Minnesota really let Sam Darnold go? Is Sam Darnold actually better than people give him credit for? We'll find out probably at the end of the season. But, he's better than some people have given him credit for because he's taken time to develop. the beginning of his career wasn't what we expected, but he's taken time to develop and get a lot better, and he's become a lot better of a quarterback. But besides Philip Rivers, let's go into some of the college football players. Let's talk about some of the awards that happened this past weekend. Let's talk about players that entered the transfer portal, players that already said they're returning for next year. So, Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman. He deserved the Heisman 100%, and he earned it throughout the season. While people might have said Diego Pavia should have won it because he had a bigger impact at Vanderbilt than Fernando Mendoza did at Indiana. Like, the doors in Vanderbilt was good because of Diego Pavia. I would disagree with that. I think Diego Pavia did phenomenal and was a good quarterback. But when you lose your two toughest games, for instance, losing to Alabama and Texas, it's going to be hard for you to win a Heisman. Fernando Mendoza won his toughest games, Oregon and Ohio State. While his stats may not be as excellent as past Heismans, you saw him have really good moments, and it showed why he deserved the award. And it also went to a great guy. He's a great guy. You can't dislike him. If you do, then, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. You can't really dislike him. He's a great guy, and I couldn't have thought of anyone better for the award to go to. Let's talk about the Biletnikoff, who went to Makai Lemon. Now, Makai Lemon deserved the award, but how did he get the Biletnikoff over Jeremiah Smith? And I'm not saying this as an Ohio State fan. I'm saying this as someone who's objective and doesn't care whether Jeremiah Smith got the award or not, because it means nothing to me. It doesn't matter to me whether he got it or not. It's just an award. How does the guy who won Big Ten Freshman of the Year, not Freshman of the Year, Big Ten Receiver of the Year this year, and Jeremiah Smith, and then also the only wide receiver to finish in the top 10 in the Heisman voting at 6, not win Wide Receiver of the Year in the Biletnikoff Award? Also, not to mention, Makai Lemon plays for USC, which is in the Big Ten. So if he didn't win Big Ten Receiver of the Year over Jeremiah Smith, how does he win the Biletnikoff over Jeremiah Smith? That just doesn't make any sense. And while I'm not going to say that Makai Lemon didn't deserve it, he did. Him and Jeremiah Smith had very similar stats. The only difference is Jeremiah Smith had one more reception. Makai Lemon had 70 more receiving yards. Makai Lemon had one more rushing yard. Rushing touchdown, and one passing touchdown. To Jeremiah Smith's 0 passing touchdowns. I'm not saying he didn't deserve the award. I'm just saying, if Makai Lemon is going to win the Biletnikoff, then how does he not get Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year? Or how is he not finished ahead of Jeremiah Smith in Heisman voting? Now, I think Jeremiah Smith's the better receiver, and I think Jeremiah Smith should have won the Biletnikoff. You'll hear NFL scouts say, you'll hear college football analysts say it, college football coaches say it. Jeremiah Smith is the best wide receiver in college football. Some even say he's the best player in college football. So, if you're going to give the award to someone for the best wide receiver in college football, why wouldn't it be whoever one considers the best wide receiver in college football and Jeremiah Smith? Awards should not be strictly stats-based. Because when you just strictly make awards stats-based, you're just going to give it to the player with the best stats every single year. You're going to give the award to whoever has the best stats. And while Makai Lemon might not have better stats than there was one receiver, I think, who was from UConn, who had some amazing stats. You also got to take in context of who they play for, who they play against, what their schedule's like, which did come down to that. But you got to also look at, okay, how are they guarded on the field? How do other coaches refer to this player? Do they refer to him as just he's a really good player, he's the best player in this team, or the best player in this offense, or is he the best player in all of college football? Because if you have scouts, NFL scouts, college football analysts, college football coaches calling one specific player, aka Jeremiah Smith right now, the best player in all of college football, then how is he not also the best wide receiver in all of college football and not win the award for the best receiver in college football? That's my whole stance on this. I think Jeremiah Smith should have won it. I think Makai Lemon deserved it because he had a phenomenal season. He's a phenomenal player and a phenomenal receiver. But if you're going to give it to the best receiver in college football, then why don't you actually do that? I mean, if you're going to have people consider him the best receiver in college football and the best player in college football, why don't you listen and actually give that player the rightful award that they deserve? I don't care. I know it's boring to give the same player the award for 3 years in a row. Jeremiah Smith didn't win it last year. He didn't win it this year. Now his last chance to win the Biletnikoff is next year because we already know after next season he's going to go to the NFL draft. So next year's his last chance to win the Biletnikoff. You're robbing him of an award he has earned and should have won. And so, again, it's dumb. I think Makai Lemon deserves it 100%. He had a phenomenal season again, but Jeremiah Smith should have won the Biletnikoff. And so, I don't care if he would have won it again next year and went 2 years in a row. So, and that's how awards should be. If he's the best receiver in college football for 2 or 3 years in a row, then he should get the award 2 or 3 years in a row. Like, let's say Fernando Mendoza stayed in college football next year, and he's the best player in college football next year, and he wins the Heisman again. That's the right choice then. I don't care how many years in a row someone wins an award. If they're the best player at their position, they should win it. If they're the best player in all of college football, they should win that award that many years in a row. It's just, that's how it should be. Awards shouldn't be like, oh, well, this guy got it last year, so let's go give it to this guy. Like, come on. Are we serious? On other news, though, Curt Cignetti won the Coach of the Year award. Again, he's done a phenomenal job at Indiana. And he's got Indiana as the number 1 seed in the college football playoffs. They just beat Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship. They are undefeated, 12-0. It's the first outright Big Ten Championship Indiana has won since World War II. I think since, 1945 almost. They won one in 65, but it was a shared Big Ten Championship. So, again, it's their first time winning a outright Big Ten Championship since 1945. And Curt Cignetti's done a phenomenal job. He's a phenomenal coach. And as you can see, Indiana signed him to extension because they really wanted to stay, because other schools wanted to get Curt Cignetti to leave. And, he's not going to leave something he built and something that looks this good. Why? If you can just continue to do it there, why would he leave? And Indiana said, we're willing to make it worth your while to stay and pay you, and that's exactly what's happening. Other news, you have Arch Manning already saying he's going to return to Texas next year in college football. And that makes sense. He didn't have a great season at Texas. He's not really worthy of going to the draft this year because he's not. I mean, he might still get drafted highly, even if he did, just because of his name and the talent that he has. But he hasn't proven, really, the player that he can be or the quarterback that he can be yet to where he's, comfortable leaving for the draft, which makes sense because the year he had it wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. It was It was mediocre. It was kind of average for what you expected of him. You expected him to be a Heisman finalist this year and to be in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. And, he wasn't. He had an year for the expectations we have on him. Now, next year, he might be a Heisman finalist. I don't know. That's next season. He has a full offseason to develop and a full season next year to show us why he should be in New York this time next year and show us why he's going to be a top 15 pick in the draft next year or not. He has a whole offseason to develop, so he's got plenty of time and chances to grow as a player and show us who he really is. You also have DJ Lagway entering the transfer portal from Florida. Phenomenal quarterback. He didn't have a great year this year. You could kind of tell he's has some injury issues, but he's going to be a very highly sought after quarterback in the transfer portal. A lot of people are going to want him. He's a former 5-star quarterback out of the class of 2024, and he's shown in spurts how good he can be. He's also shown in spurts how bad he can be. So the question is, can the right school get him and help develop him and make him the best player he can be? Because if they can, then they have a really good quarterback on their hands. If he's like he was at Florida, then you have someone who will be really good in moments and really bad in moments. But DJ Lagway has a lot of talent and has the ability to be a phenomenal quarterback. You also have Dylan Raiola entering the transfer portal. Dylan Raiola, again, a 5-star out of the class of 2024, I think. Dylan Raiola is just, he must like going to different schools. He went to 4, I think, different high schools, maybe more. He likes going to different schools apparently because, he went to 4 different high schools. He committed to Georgia, then he decommits, commits to Ohio State, then decommits, then commits to Nebraska, plays there for 2 years. Then he's now going to enter the transfer pool and go from Nebraska to wherever his next stop will be. And maybe he just likes going to play for different coaching staffs. Maybe he likes going to different schools, meeting a bunch of new people. I have no clue why Dylan Raiola likes going to new schools, but do I blame him for really wanting to leave Nebraska? Dylan Raiola is a former 5-star. He has a lot of talent. Now, does that mean you're always going to be good? No. Because, I can have talent and then do nothing with that talent and then be the worst player in college football. Or I can have talent, do something with it, and be the best. Talent can only get you so far. You need to work hard, and you need to work on everything that talent doesn't get you. And I'm not saying he hasn't done that, but he's very talented. He has the ability to be really good. But he's got to tap into hard work. He's got to tap into that talent and develop it. Because again, talent can only get you so far. And as we see right now, it's gotten him decent seasons at Nebraska. I say decent meaning not the worst in the Big Ten, but they've been pretty bad seasons at Nebraska also, especially for what you expected of him. So the question is, where will he go? What schools will be after him? Will top-tier programs be going after him because of the player he was in high school and the talent and how sought after he was? Or will he not get calls from, like, for instance, like Miami, who will need a quarterback next year? Or Texas Tech, who has a good backup quarterback this year who could step up and be the starter next year? Or they could say, you know what? We're gonna just, go grab one who will be here right away, and be better. And so when you look at that, I don't know, but I do know he probably ain't gonna be back in Nebraska next year. Brennan Sorsby enters the transfer portal from UC. He was a good quarterback at UC this year, had a decent season for UC and Cincinnati football. And where's he gonna go? Again, I don't know. It depends. Again, a lot of teams are needing quarterbacks. You're gonna look at like Miami needs a quarterback, Texas Tech, Arizona State might need a quarterback because Sam Leavitt plans to enter the transfer portal, who we're gonna talk about next. So teams are gonna need quarterbacks. The question is, are these quarterbacks good enough and serviceable enough for those teams, or do they want something better, or do they already have something better? You look at again, Sam Leavitt entered the transfer portal from Arizona State. He's gonna be a very highly sought after quarterback. I expect him and DJ Lagway right now to be the two most highly sought after quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Sam Leavitt was in the college football playoff. He did really good, and he's had some injury stuff. This season was not what he expected without Cam Scatterbo. He's still really good though. So now the question is, where does he go? And then also, Oregon plays against JMU this week in the college football playoffs, and Evan Stewart might return. A star wide receiver for Oregon. He might return. He hasn't played a game this season since getting an injury, and back in June, was it, or was it? I think it was June. Yeah, and he hasn't played a snap. He hasn't played a single game this season, but he's been seen practicing with the team with pads on and a helmet on. So he might get to play in the college football playoffs this weekend, or in the next round if they go forward, because it is only JMU, and I expect them to beat JMU by a lot. So, they might not need their starters for the whole game. They won't even need Evan Stewart if they want to. The question is, do they want to give him this game and then get him going next week, and then so he's ready for next week? Or do they not want to play him at all and just have him just get ready for next season already? That's another question you can ask there. But, no, it's a good question to ask, and it's a fair question to ask. But, no, those are like the big player news that we have going on right now. Again, you got the college football playoffs coming up this weekend. And so it all starts on, Friday, December 19th between Oklahoma and Alabama on ABC at 8 p.m. So that's going to be a great game. You have then all the other first-round games going on Saturday. And so, we're going to see some good football. We're going to see some interesting football. The biggest question there, can JMU and Tulane put up a fight against Oregon and Ole Miss, or will they just kind of fall down and just not be able to do anything? That's a big question here. But that's not the biggest question those aren't the biggest and most serious questions people ask when it comes to the playoffs, because you kind of know the answer to those questions. We kind of got them already throughout the season. And so those aren't the questions that we're going to really discuss when I make my picks. I already made my picks in a video last week, but when I actually discuss those picks and discuss them deeper on Thursday, those are questions we'll answer, but we won't answer them as fully as we could. But again, no, Texas Tech, they're going to need a quarterback, because again, and there's four quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and there will be more. DJ Lagway, Dylan Raiola, Brennan Sorsby, and Sam Leavitt. Because Barrett Morton, he'll be gone, and then Will Hammond, he's a good backup quarterback, and he could be even a good starter next year. The question is, though, do you want someone better? Because you could get someone better. And so, or more talented per se, not better. Like DJ Lagway is more talented, and you have to then develop that talent. And so, do they do that? I don't know. But Texas Tech's in the playoffs, and Barry Morton's still there, and they're in the playoffs right now, and they're gonna be fighting to win a national championship. So guess what? They ain't looking for a quarterback anytime soon because right now they got theirs, and they're gonna try and use him to win a national championship. So, in other news, the Army and Navy game. Army lost 16-17 in a thrilling Army and Navy game in one of the best rivalries in all of college sports. I had a great time watching this. And so I have family members who are in both the Army and the Navy. My dad was in the Army. My dad's dad was in the Navy. So it's a very big game in my house when we watch the game. I'm always rooting for the Army to win, but I could really care less who wins. I want both teams to succeed and do well, and I have tremendous respect for both programs, both service academies, and everyone that decides to go play sports there or go do their schooling there, and then also commit to service after they're done with their schooling or after they're done playing sports. I have tremendous respect for all those people. But no, Army had the lead for most of the game. They were up 13-7 at halftime. So Army had a lead for most of the game. And then at the end of, let's look. At the end of the third quarter, they're up 16-10. The big difference though is Navy scores 7 in the fourth quarter, Army scores 0 to win. Navy wins 17-16. And again, Army had the lead for almost the whole game. Navy was leading 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, but again, Army led 13-7 at halftime, and they led 16-10 at the end of the third quarter. So what kind of went wrong? Well, there were some turnover issues for both teams. It's a rivalry game. You expect it to happen. I expect the Navy to actually beat Army by a lot more because just the season Navy had was phenomenal. I mean, Blake Horvath is a really good quarterback, but both teams threw one interception. Both teams had some fumbles. I mean, Blake Horvath had 3 fumbles. They lost one of them. Army had 1 fumble. I don't know if they lost or recovered that one. I don't remember. But some crazy things happen in this game. And it's just the craziness of a rivalry game that happens. And so Army put up a fight. They fought really well. And they did what I expected them to do, was put up a fight and fight really well. And Navy did what I expected them to do, is win the game. Find a way to win. I expected Navy to win, like I said, by a lot more. I expected them to cover whatever the spread was of the game going into the game. And, well, that didn't happen because it was 17-16. And I definitely know the spread was not 1. But, no, it was a good game between the two teams, between the two service academies. And it was a phenomenal showing of how good those rivalries really are. And why that game really gets its own weekend. We had some other small bowl games, or, we had like one bowl game going on, which was Washington and Boise State. But it was small games going on. And so, again, it kind of shows why Army and Navy deserve their own weekend. It's for the respect that we have for the service academies, that we have for all of our military, but also the respect we have for that rivalry and how those two brotherhoods go at it every single year, to where after the game they then come together as a like military country, to an extent of they work together in the military to protect our country. So while they may feud outside of that, and while they may feud throughout this game and throughout this rivalry, it also shows that while we may not get along with some people at some times, or we may feud with people in our family, we may feud with some friends, we may have a rivalry between us with people that we talk to, not always agree. It also shows that how we can also unite and come together for a common cause, like they do when it comes to protecting and serving our country. And so that is also a beautiful reminder that this game gives us. And it was a phenomenal game. It was a great game to watch. We also had some college basketball going on this weekend. You had Arizona beating Alabama. Arizona won 96-75, led by no other than another freshman sensation, Braden Burries. It wasn't Koa Pete this time. It was Braden Burries. Braden Burries had 28 points, 11 of 19 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 4 fouls. So he had a phenomenal game against Alabama. They couldn't stop him. They did stop Koa Pete. So if their mission was to go into that game stopping Koa Pete, which is what most teams' missions will probably be against Arizona, Bradenberry stepped up to the task and said, hey, I'm here too, guys. Just wait. And Koa Pete only had 6 points. He was 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 3 fouls. And so again, they stopped Koa Pete right in his tracks. But they didn't stop Bradenberry's. They didn't stop even Karchenkov. Man, that name's still a tongue twister. They didn't stop Krivas, Mateus Krivas, and they didn't stop Jaden Bradley, who all were double digits. Karchenkov had 10 points. Krivas had 14. Bradley had 13. They also didn't stop Anthony Del Orso, who had 13. Anthony Del Orso is also another really good player that they have off the bench. I could see Anthony Del Orso maybe winning the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year, depending on how many games he starts. He's so far started 0, but he's a phenomenal Sixth Man of the Year candidate for the Big 12, and maybe even a national Big 12, not Big 12. He's a phenomenal candidate for the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year, and also a phenomenal candidate for the national Sixth Man of the Year because he's done phenomenal coming off the bench for. He's a really solid player in his senior season at Arizona. Besides 2 players, Alabama couldn't get it done. Adine Holloway got shut down by Arizona. He had 0 points, going 0 for 2 from the field, 0 for 0 from the 3-point line, 0 for 0 again from the free throw line, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 1 foul in 21 minutes. That's not great. He only took 2 shots, but that's not great. Alabama was led by LeBaron Philon Jr. and Latrell Wright. So LeBaron Philon Jr. had 24 points, 7 of 16 from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, 7 of 10 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, 1 block. And so 5 assists to 5 turnovers. That's a very high turnover margin. That's awful. You cannot turn the ball over that many times in a college basketball game and expect to win. And, well, they didn't win. They lost 96-75. That's 21 points. That's a very bad loss. Arizona's looked phenomenal. They've looked like one of the best teams in college football, depending on if you consider them or Michigan. I'm probably going to pick Michigan as the best team. I said college football, didn't I? I meant college basketball. I've said I think Michigan's the best team right now in college basketball. They have looked phenomenal, but Arizona has also looked really good, and I would love to see those 2 teams play, which they're not going to, I don't think. I don't think they play. I haven't looked at their full schedules. Yeah, neither of them play each other, so that's sad because it'd be fun to watch them play. But you know what? Save it for March Madness. Maybe save it for a Final Four or a national championship game. That'd be a phenomenal game to watch. Both teams are phenomenal. Both teams look really good here as we're getting to like the middle of the college basketball season now, because you have conference play coming right around the corner. It's already started for the Big Ten, but for other conferences coming right around the corner, like the SEC, it starts in January, and we're so close to conference play starting in the SEC. Latrell Wright had 21 points, 8 out of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 0 fouls. So again, Alabama struggled in this game. Arizona did their job. They showed us why they're ranked the number 1 team in the country, and Alabama showed us why it's going to be hard to beat Arizona. Another game that you had Michigan versus Maryland. We're only discussing this because, well, again, Michigan. I think they are probably the best team in college basketball right now. I mean, they had multiple 40-point wins against really good teams, or 30-point wins. I mean, they beat Gonzaga 101-61. They beat Auburn 102-72. They beat Rutgers 101-60. They beat Villanova 89-61, and they just beat Maryland 101-83. And so they look good. They look like a force to be reckoned with. They look almost like a juggernaut of college basketball. They struggled a little bit against Maryland at halftime. Maryland led 50-45, and Maryland had the lead for a little bit of the game. But then in that second half, Michigan kind of took over, and they outscored them 56-33 in the second half. And then Michigan ends up winning 101-83. Michigan was led by none other than National Player of the Year candidate Yaxel Lendenborg. Yaxel Lendenborg is a phenomenal player. There's a reason why he was the number 1 player in the transfer portal, and a reason why a lot of schools wanted him. He went 8 of 11 from the field, 4 of 5 from the 3-point line, 9 of 9 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Man, that guy's good. Yaxel Lendenborg's a phenomenal player. I mean, what'd you expect? I expect him to be really good. I don't know if I expect him to be that good because he came from UAB, but he was also phenomenal at UAB last year. So it's kind of I'm not surprised. It's just when you step up from UAB to a power conference in a school like Michigan, who was in the Big Ten, in a Power 4 conference, who's going to have a harder schedule, I expected the stats to fall just a little bit. And, well, they haven't really fallen that far. He's just a really good player. They also were led by Adai Mara, who transferred from UCLA. He had 18 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 blocks. And Adai Mara is really good. He's also really tall. I mean, he's 7'3", 255 pounds. So he is tall. UCLA kind of made a mistake in letting him transfer away. And it's not really Adai Mara's fault. It's more so UCLA's fault. Of he didn't play a lot for Mick Cronin last year at UCLA, and well, now he's playing a lot this year at Michigan, and well, he's doing really good. They were also Elliot Cadeau had 12 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, 1 rebound, 10 assists. Elliot Cadeau can pass the ball like no other. He's phenomenal at sharing the rock, passing it around, getting his teammates involved. He's really good at doing that. He's averaging 6.1 assists a game this year. He's phenomenal at sharing the ball, moving the ball, and getting the ball to his teammates and to his play in the hands of his playmakers. Off the bench, you had L.J. Kaysen with 12 points, 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from the 3-point line, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. And again, Michigan just looks like a force to be reckoned with. For Maryland, they were really truly led by David Coit, who had 31 points, 10 of 20 from the field, 8 of 12 from the 3-point line, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and 1 foul. And so David Coit, he looked really good again against Michigan in that game. He transferred from Kansas to Maryland this past year, and well, he's showing why he picked the right school to go to, but also in the end, he couldn't help Maryland win. Maryland falls to 6-5. Michigan goes to 10-0, and yeah, Michigan is a juggernaut. You also have Purdue beating Marquette. Marquette continues to struggle this year. They are 5 of 6 after being a solid team in the Big East last year, and actually this past couple years. Purdue beat them 79-59, so by 20. I don't know what to say about Marquette because, again, these recently have looked really good in the past couple years. But this year they have done a terrible job as a team. And Shaka Smart, he's a good coach. He's a good coach. He's a really good coach. If you asked me before this season, I probably would consider him a top 25 coach in college basketball. He's phenomenal. But they really have not replaced Cam Jones, for example, who they lost last year. And so they've missed some of their guys, or like Tyler Kolek from like 2 years ago. They've missed some of their better players, and you can tell. And from last year, and they didn't replace them well. And so, again, they're struggling. I mean, they lost by, what? Let's see. They lost by 100-77 against Indiana. They lost to Dayton 77-71. So, like, as you can tell, they're not really a great team this year. But also, Purdue's also a solid team. Purdue was led by none other than Oscar Clough with 22 points, 9 of 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 3 personal fouls. Oscar Clough was a good transfer to Purdue. Purdue's always get these bigs that are really good. You have Trey Kaufman and Oscar Clough. In the past, you've had Zach Edey. You have also on this current team, you have Daniel Jacobson. They got really good bigs that can play physical, but also score in the paint mostly. You don't see them stepping out and making a bunch of threes, but you see them getting their work done in the paint with good footwork and good fundamentals and doing the job. Fletcher Lawyer had 15 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 8 from the 3-point line, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal. Braden Smith, while he only had 7 points and went 3 of 6 from the field and over 2 from the 3-point line and 1 of 2 from the free throw line, he had 10 assists. He is also another player that just knows how to, A, be a playmaker himself and score, but also spread the ball around to his teammates, get everyone else involved, and get the ball to his playmakers. He's averaging 9.2 assists right now a game. That is phenomenal. He's probably the best point guard in college basketball. He's also another National Player of the Year candidate. He's a phenomenal player. Again, Purdue goes to 10-1 on the season, and Marquette falls to 5-6. You also have Gonzaga beating UCLA 82-72 in a ranked matchup in the Seattle Hoops Showdown. And let's just go with it. Gonzaga's a good team. I don't know how they lost to Michigan as badly as they did. But that just shows how good Michigan is. But Gonzaga was led by none other than Graham Ike, who's a phenomenal player. He's huge. He's only 6'9". So when I say huge, you're going to think, oh, he's 7 foot plus. He's only 6'9", and he's 250 pounds. But he looks all of 6'9" and 250 pounds. I mean, he looks like a tank. He had 25 points, 9-60 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and man, Gonzaga got rolling against UCLA. And Gonzaga was only up 5 at halftime, but they ended up winning the game by 10, outscoring UCLA by 5 in each half. Braden Huffer, Gonzaga had 21 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds. They also had Mario St. Superi, 12 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Again, Gonzaga is a really good team. They look like a wagon that can go all the way to a Final Four or win a national championship. They look like a solid team. They are a team that, as long as they keep the train on the tracks, and it doesn't fall off the tracks and bad things don't happen, they'll be good. Right now, they look like a boat with a captain. As you can see with Kentucky, a team that looks like a ship without a captain doesn't go so well. You see with Gonzaga, though, a team with a captain goes pretty well. We'll talk about Kentucky in a second because they finally got their first Power 4. Actually, let's go talk about it now. Why not? Like I said, Gonzaga beats UCLA 82-72. UCLA falls to 7-3. Gonzaga goes to 10-1. Kentucky beat Indiana 72-60. Kentucky gets their first Power 4 win. Wins their first Power 4 game of the season after losing others to schools like Gonzaga, to schools like Louisville, Michigan State. They finally win their first Power 4 game of the season. Also losing to North Carolina. They play St. John's again this Saturday. The question is, can Kentucky repeat the performance can they repeat what they figured out in the second half against Indiana? Because it looked like going into that second half, they were down by 7 at halftime, 39-32, and it looked like it was going to be another ugly loss for Kentucky. But then they figured something out, and they ended up winning 72-60. And so the question is, can they grow off of that and use that again in the next game? It also helped that they got Jalen Lowe back, and that they got Mo Diabate back. So 2 of their captains of their ship, you could say, are back. They took that step down the yellow brick road. They said, hey, we may have been done, but we're not dead yet. Now, they may be dead after this Saturday. I have no clue because I don't know if they're going to beat St. John's. St. John's is a tough team. Well, no matter what St. John's record is, they have Rick Pitino as the head coach. They're always going to be tough to beat. But, no, Kentucky looked better against Indiana. They figured some things out. While it wasn't always beautiful or perfect, they're a down, dirty, physical, tough team, and that's kind of how they have to play defensively and as a team in general. They're not going to be a team that's going to go out there and make 23s. That's not their skill set. They're a team that has to get it on the glass, get boards, get rebounds, push the tempo, drive to the rim, drive to the paint, and take tough layups. Take tough twos. Make physical layups. Be physical. Impose your will on your opponent. Beat them up physically. Kentucky was led by none other than Mo Diabate and Jalen Lowe. Mo Diabate had 14 points. Jalen Lowe had 13 points. Jalen Lowe had 2 assists, and he had 1 steal. But you see, Jalen Lowe, even with the shoulder injury, he's out there hustling, working hard, doing what other players wouldn't. Brandon Garrison, after he got put in timeout the game before, basically, by getting sat with there was 8 or 12 minutes left in the first half, and then not playing the rest of the game after that. After getting put in timeout, Mark Pope took him out of the corner. So, you ready to play? And Brian Garrison said, yeah, because he came up and showed up with an effort. He only had 6 points and 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block. But he had an effort there that he hadn't had all season. He played with a sense of urgency that he didn't play with all season. And so you see him play with that, and he played a lot better all season long than he has all season long. That was the best game he's played all year. And it looked really good. And so, again, Kentucky finally figured something out. The question is, can they grow off of that and get a lot better? Also, good news for Kentucky. Jaden Clayton's looks like he'll be making his debut either against St. John's or sometime either next week or in the coming weeks, because he is this close to coming back and playing. Mark Pope said himself, it's more of the days than it is the weeks and months. So it's more so the days and hours than it's the weeks and months. So you could see him come off the mend soon. Michigan State wins 76-72 against Penn State. Penn State falls to 8-3. Michigan State is 9-1. And you know, that's surprising. I would have thought a team like Michigan State would win by more than they did against Penn State. But also you see with Michigan State, they have inconsistencies. They're a really good defensive team, but they also, on offense, sometimes they're there. And a lot of the times they're not. They're a really good team. Can't deny that. They're 9-1. But there are some downsides to what you see with Michigan State and Tom Izzo. Could this Michigan State team really go on a deep run? Yeah, they have defense to do that. But their offense needs to be consistent, or they could get knocked out against a really, really good mid-major team or really, really good Power 4 team or Power 5 if you want to count the Big East and the Power 5 in college basketball. And they could get knocked out to a really good team that has a phenomenal offensive performance, and they can't keep up offensively. They've struggled offensively. Their offense sometimes looks like a ship without a captain that's going to crash into another boat. And then sometimes it looks like a ship with a captain that they can dodge the iceberg, unlike the Titanic. Or they can not crash and burn, per se. But, so again, sometimes they look like the Titanic offensively and everything's falling down, and sometimes they don't. And the question is, can they be consistent offensively? Again, winning a game is not bad. That's a good thing. That's what you're supposed to do. Winning at 76-72 against a team you should probably beat by double digits, that's not great. But no, Michigan State was led by Ugachukwu. Sorry, I had to think about his name for a second. I knew his name, but I had to think about it because it looked weirder than I thought it was going to. He had 23 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 5 of 5 from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, 3 steals. He had a really good game. And again, his name is hard to say because I knew what his name was. I've watched Michigan State play. I've heard his name been said many, many times. And, well, it looked harder pronounced than it is. Ugachukwu. I'm not even going to try to say his first name because I don't know how that one's said. Carson Cooper had 10 points, 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 0 from the three-point line, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 foul. Again, Michigan State, they got busy. They got work done. Penn State was led by Freddie DeLone, the 5th off the bench, who had 23 points, 8 of 15 from the free throw line, field, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 8 from the three-point line, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 steals, and 1 block. And again, Michigan State won 76-72. Probably my favorite game of the weekend that I saw. Nebraska Cornhuskers beating Illinois, the Fighting Illini. Illinois goes to 8-3. Nebraska goes to 11-0. Nebraska, final minutes of the game, final seconds, hits a game-winning 3 to shake everything up. Boy, that was fun to watch. That was exciting. I didn't expect that to come. I thought Illinois was going to overwhelm them with their size. Nebraska's got some size, but like the 2 Ivisic brothers are both over 7 foot. And so I thought Illinois could overwhelm them with both of those brothers. Even though they're not always on the court together. They're not really out there on the court together that much, I would say. I thought, they could overwhelm them with their size, especially Tomislav Ivisic, who was really good. But no, Nebraska wasn't bothered by that. And Nebraska, they made that little three at the end of the game. They just did a little whoo from deep, hoping to go in, and it did. And so the question is, how good is Nebraska? Because they were ranked 23 going to that game. They're definitely not ranked 23 anymore. They're definitely ranked higher. I actually haven't looked at the AP poll these past couple days. They will be ranked. Let's see. They are ranked 15th, so they jumped all the way up to 15 after that game. How high can they go? Can they get into the top 10? Can they eventually get into the top 5? Nebraska looks like a solid team. They were led by, that's a tough name to say. Rinkmast. Don't know how to pronounce the first name. He was their second leading scorer with 17 points, 7-15 from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, on 1 steal. They were also led by Price Sandfort, who had 32 points, 12-18 from the field, 6-11 from the 3-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 assists, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 1 steal. You had Jamarcus Lawrence, who had 14 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal. Then off the bench, you had Jared Garcia with 10 points. Illinois was led by Kylan Boswell with 20 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, 7 of 9 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And then Andreas Stojakovic, 19 points, 8 of 16 from the field goal line. Wow. 8 of 16 from the field, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 block. And Keaton Wagler, I don't know how to say his last name, 19 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 4 of 8 from the 3-point line, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 10 assists. Again, 10 assists is really good. But the production from their bench was lacking. Hubbard Kaus had 3 points, Jake Davis had 5, Zvonimir Ivicic had 7. Production from their bench was lacking. And when you only get, 15 points from your bench, that's not great. But Nebraska only got 10 points from their bench, so Illinois got more points from their bench. But no, Nebraska played a really good game. Hats off to them. They look really good this year. They look like a solid team. And again, they hit just a little 3 from deep to win the game in the final seconds. And oh man, what a game. That was a fun game to watch. You have Arkansas beating Texas Tech 93-86. And I'm not going to lie, that kind of surprised me. Now, I thought Arkansas was good. I thought Texas Tech was would be a little bit better with JT Toppin. But besides really JT Toppin, Texas Tech, I feel like hasn't been as consistent this year as you expected them to, especially after losing Darren Williams to the transfer portal from last year. I mean, besides JT Toppin and Christian Anderson, then you have Lawan Watts and Donovan Atwell, who both average 11.6 and 11.4 points a game. But besides really JT Toppin and Christian Anderson, those other two, they really don't get a lot of production from other players, which is tough because 4 players don't make a team that has 5 men on the court at the time, and then other players that come off the bench. So it makes it tougher, and they need more production off the bench. They only got 8 points on the bench, which was Jalen Petty. They need more production from the bench. JT Toppin had 30 points, 14 of 22 from the field, 0 for 1 from the 3-point line, 2 of 7 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, and 3 turnovers, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Again, you can't ask him to do more than that. Christian Anderson had 26 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 11 from the 3-point line, 1 free throw, 1 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 turnovers. Again, you can't ask him to do much better. But Donovan Atwell, who averaged 11 points a game, only 6. Lawan Watts, only 8. He averages 11 also. Tyree Bryan only had 8. I don't know if I said his first name right. Apologize if I butchered it. But he only had 8. As a team, they went 3 of 10 from the free throw line. So they could not hit water if they were falling off the side of a boat. Their free throw shooting was hot trash. They don't have ice in their veins at the free throw line that game. They did not have ice in their veins. They were hot trash. It was straight garbage from the free throw line. You've got to do better. Shooting 42% from the 3-point line, 51% from the field, but only shooting 30% of the free throw line. You've got to do better. Got to do better. Arkansas was led by none other than freshman sensation Darius Acuff Jr. with 20 points, who 7 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from the 3, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 block. Darius Acuff is a phenomenal freshman. He has looked really good. John Calipari's got another really good guard under his belt, and Darius Acuff is doing a lot better than I kind of thought he was. He's kind of exceeding expectations going into the season. Then Trevor Brazile had 24 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 5 from the three-point line, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 blocks. Carter Knox had 20 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 3 of 4 from the three-point line, 1 of 3 from the free throw line. And then off the bench, you have Malik Ewing with 9 points, Billy Richmond III with 6, and Malik Thomas with 8. Malik Thomas did not have a phenomenal game, but he's been having also a really good season, averaging 16 points for Arkansas. And then you have Kansas for the final game that we had. You have Kansas winning 77-76 against NC State in overtime. That was a phenomenal game. Again, problem was NC State could not make a 3 to save their life. They went 9 of 34, which is 26% from the three-point line. Again, they couldn't hit They couldn't hit water if they were falling off the side of the boat. That's pathetic. That's terrible. Again, that's hot garbage. That is not a recipe for success. That's not a recipe for nice, warm Christmas cookies that everyone likes to enjoy. That is a recipe for something that gets burnt and everyone throws in the trash can later, because oh yeah, they were good. We ate it. We liked it. But they're secretly spitting it back out in the trash can or feeding whatever you made to the dog on the floor so you don't see, saying they ate it all, when really it's either in the dog's stomach or it's in the trash can, because it was pitiful and pathetic. But as a whole, NC State played solid. They almost won the game. They shot 38% from the field. That's terrible also. Again, not a recipe for success. But in the fact that they only lost by 1, shooting that bad, that's impressive. Now, Kansas, they shot 37% from the three-point line, 11 of 30. 60% from the free throw line. Not great as a team, but got to be better from the free throw line. And 43% from the field. Not terrible. Not terrible. Not great. It's solid. It's good enough for them to win the game, obviously, by 1. And, man, that was a fun game to watch. I did not expect Kansas to win by 1 throughout that game. I thought, well, wait, NC State, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out and find a way to come away with the win. But, no, Kansas was led by Melvin Council Jr. at 36 points, 13-27 from the field, 9 of 15 from the three-point line, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. Then they had Trey White with 12 points, Darren Peterson with 17 points. Darren Peterson's going to struggle with his hamstring probably throughout the whole season, because, I mean, he's been struggling with it, and he played in this game. He didn't look, I don't know if he looked 100%, but I watched the game. I wouldn't say he looked 100%, but I mean, I'm not him. So I can't physically tell you if he feels 100% or if he is 100%. I'm not with him every day. I don't see him 24/7, so I can't tell you how his hamstring is, but it just seems like his hamstring is just going to be something that bothers him all season, and it's going to be more of a management issue of can he play through it and play with it, instead of it being something that's always 100% back. Now, Kansas needs to get more than 2 points from the bench. But other than that, they played a solid game. Again, NC State, Darren Williams had 17 points, 7-17 from the field, 3 of 9 from the three-point line. That's terrible. 0 for 1 from the free throw line. 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover. Then Allen Lubin, 16 points, 7-11 from the field, 0 for 0 from the three-point line. So he did not contribute to the recipe that was hot trash from the three-point line that would be going in the trash. Good for Van Allen Lubin. 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, solid, 2 assists, and Trey Holloman, 11 points, 4 of 16 from the field, 3 of 12 from the three-point line. He did contribute to the recipe that was hot trash and thrown in the garbage that whoever gets your garbage, the garbage man, would not want to take with him, because even he doesn't like that garbage. 0 for 0 from the free throw line, so he didn't take a free throw. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. Paul McNeil Jr., 4 points, 1 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. He contributed to the hot trash. 1 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 turnovers, 1 steal. Quadir Copeland, 39 minutes, not 39 points, man. Sometimes reading's hard. 19 points, 6 of 14 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Again, he did not contribute to the hot trash that was the three-point shooting. Only 0 for 1. He missed 1, but he didn't take 10 and miss 8 of them. So, yeah, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Then on the bench, you have Allen Bree with 6 points and Matt Abel with 3. Get more production from your bench. Allen Bree played 24 minutes. He only had 6 points. Now he only took 4 field goal attempts, but still, 24 minutes. Come on. You have Terrence Arsenault, 14 minutes, 0 points. Matt Abel, 13 minutes, 3 points. Like, if NC State gets slightly more production from the bench, they win that game. Get production from your bench, you're going to win games. You see teams, the best teams in the country get production not only from their stars, but also from their bench. And those are the best teams in the country. So that's why you need production from your bench. It's very helpful. This week in college basketball, up until Thursday, you really don't have a lot of big games. Really, the only big game you have is Tennessee versus Louisville today. I think Louisville's probably going to win that game, except it is in Knoxville. So Tennessee's hard to beat at home. So you know what? I'm going to take Tennessee to win. I don't know which team's going to win, obviously, because the game hasn't been played yet. But I'm going to take Tennessee to win. Let's see, what is the spread? The spread is 1.5 favoring Louisville. So obviously, if I'm picking Tennessee to win, they're also going to cover because they're going to cover outright and win outright. So don't even think about the spread. I'm going to pick Tennessee to win outright, and I think they're going to beat Louisville in Knoxville. And they're going to be singing Rocky Top all the way home because they're going to be having a good night. But no. And then again, just a reminder, Thursday we'll be going into more depth about our college football playoff picks and talking about the college football playoffs that start Friday, December 19th at 8 p.m. again on ABC with Alabama and Oklahoma. I'm Josh. I'm the host of Game Talk 24/7. Thank you guys for watching.